there's history in 50 years. Working on their culture, based on their culture and education.
And like the Confucius saying, it is only when you see for yourself, do something yourself, that you finally understand.
We've organized this event to gather these prominent scholars and influential figures in the international cultural arena and provide them with an opportunity to experience Korea firsthand. What I've come to realize is that when Korean arts, history, and culture are exposed, they always win the hearts of many around the world.
Like little children in art class, they cut and paste hanji, Korean traditional handmade paper, beaming at their proud piece of art. Introduction to Korean culture does not end there, as they move over to music, where they drum it up Korean style on hourglass drums or changu as they emerge into the local culture. From a recipient to an auspice of UNESCO, Korea has made a long way in the last 60 years, not only in industrial development, but also in recognizing the importance of cultural heritage and arts education. And as one of the leading members of the world body, Korea continues to make various efforts to promote its arts by having global leaders in the field experience Korea firsthand. And all this is part of the Korean government's efforts to draw international attention to its arts and heritage.
I feel like I've had a rich cultural experience as well, and that I am leaving this conference being able to not just say I went to a conference in Seoul, and the city, but to say I went to a conference in Seoul, and then through this post-tour experience I've really had a chance to start to have a little bit more awareness around the wonderful, rich history of Korea, which I didn't know that much about.
Michael Wimmer, an expert of the European Commission and the Council of Europe on educational and cultural policy issues, also gives a thumbs up on the quality of arts and education in Korea.
To be honest, I was hugely surprised when I listened to some artistic programs. There had been so marvelous musicians around, so marvelous dancers around, and I thought this is quite an elaborated music based on a long tradition, but with a high artistic value.
Korea also makes continuous efforts to enlist its half-a-century cultural heritage to ensure preservation and awareness. And having witnessed some of the nation's most outstanding, tangible as well as intangible cultural heritage, these foreign experts echo in one voice.
Frankly, I think Korea is a wonderful candidate for those kind of accreditations, because I've been watching Korea in action in Paris at UNESCO for the last 10 years. I'm immensely impressed by what Korea has done, particularly in terms of taking over this question of arts and education and really making it come to the fore. We haven't been able to move it forward, we wouldn't have been able to move it forward without Korea doing what it's done. And I really hope that what you want to happen at UNESCO comes true. I think it should.
And there is no better place to get intimate with one's arts and lifestyle than home. The foreign dignitaries make a final emergence into Korean culture and history by staying overnight at Korean traditional houses, or Hanok.
Taking off the shoes, I mean, that's in most parts of the world, that's so intimate. So, and maybe that's a part also of the sense of humanity.
As these global cultural Olympians spend their first night ever in Hanok, they sure will grow more and more intimate with Korean arts, culture, and history.
Well, they must have had a lot of fun. I mean, mixing bibimbap and playing the changu,
Well, as you said earlier, they did get a kick out of it for sure.
Right.
But at the same time, some of them were also spotted making notes of the way arts and culture are taught here, and many of them told me how surprised they were to see how little they knew about Korean culture, and at the same time, of course, how happy they were to have discovered it.
As you briefly mentioned, UNESCO gave considerable aid to South Korea in the aftermath of the Korean War, but not many people in South Korea know this.
You're absolutely right, and that should not be overlooked because many say without that help, Korea would not be here in terms of development. And also because the global organization provided Korea with the textbooks, and also the fact that once a recipient country, Korea is now the 11th largest donor of UNESCO is also noteworthy.
All right, Kanya, thank you for the report today.
My pleasure.